Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship has just got underway as Queen's Park Rangers take on Blackpool. And Queen's Park Rangers 4 points from their first 3 games. Blackpool with 3 points from their first 3 games. So both sides probably would be looking just to try and improve on that form a little bit. QPR with that fantastic last-minute equaliser away at Sunderland at the weekend with Timothy Dieng getting the goal from a corner kick. Always great to see that. Blackpool, last time out, it was a 1-0 reversal at home to Swansea City. So they'll certainly be looking to try and build on that. To win they had against Reading on opening day. Follow that up with a defeat away to Stoke City, then that defeat on penalties to Barrow in the League Cup as well. So Michael Appleton's side is looking to try and get into the season a little bit. As a long ball now popped in towards the Blackpool penalty area, but that should be easy enough for Danny Grimshaw. So just to remind you of the two teams, it is Timothy Dieng in goal for QPR, with the back four of Ethan Laird, Rob Dickie, Jimmy Dunn and Kenny Powell. The two holder midfielders are Sam Field and Stefan Johansson. The three ahead of them are Andre Dazelle, Tyler Roberts and Ilias Chair, with Lyndon Dykes as the front man for Blackpool. Danny Grimshaw is in goal, a back four of Callum Colony, Marvin Ekpiteta, Rhys Williams and Dominic Thompson. Three central midfielders are Lewis Fiorini, Charlie Patino and Kenny Dougal, with Josh Bowler and Shane Lavery as the two wide men. Jerry Yates is the front man. It is Blackpool in possession, still inside their own half. Being pressed here was Dougal, had to go back towards the edge of his own penalty area. QPR really trying to win the ball back in the opposition half, but brought away now by Bowler, and his pass out towards the left-hand side is charged down. Will be a throw to Blackpool down the left-hand side. As I mentioned, this is the 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship. Plenty of games already underway. Not too many goals to speak of, actually. Bristol City have taken an early lead against Luton. They'll come back from that because Blackpool have been caught in possession, and there's a chance here now as Dykes breaks into the box. He couldn't get a strike away, but then Roberts with the effort. Good save from Grimshaw, and it's eventually quickly cleared by Thompson down the left-hand side, looking for Yates, but that one is headed away from him by Rob Dickie, and QPR straight away back into possession with the ball going back towards Dieng. And that's certainly a warning for Blackpool. They can't dawdle in possession in their own half. QPR have plenty of players to try and push forward, and certainly Tyler Roberts wasn't afraid to let fly early there. As a good attempt down the right-hand side from Dazelle, just dispossessed though, couldn't quite keep the ball alive, and it's going to be a free kick to Blackpool in the end. Looks like Charlie Patino was pushed over. This started off with a long throw from Blackpool inside their own half, and it's a very clumsy touch. I think it was from Patino actually, and Dykes tried to break into there. It's a great challenge from Ekpiteta to try and stop the run from Lyndon Dykes. The ball then broke to Tyler Roberts, and his strike was well saved. As Blackpool now down the right-hand side, Bowler gets to the edge of the area, hits the deck, looks towards Andrew Davis, our referee, but nothing doing in terms of a free kick. We'll see from this replay here as Bowler gets to the edge of the area. There's not enough contact, I think, with Kenny Powell to say that there's a foul. Is there any contact from Sam Field? Oh, I'm not sure. There's a little bit of contact, but I'm not sure if Bowler does everything in his power there to stay on his feet. Referee not convinced as Jimmy Dunn sends a long diagonal ball vaguely in the direction of Andre Dazelle. It's miscontrolled though by Dominic Thompson, so Dazelle now can pick the ball up for QPR. Goes back towards Laird, and now played back over towards the right-hand side as the home side straight away trying to get on the front foot, not give Blackpool any time on the ball. It's with Rob Dickie now, played up towards Dykes. Dykes just at the edge of the area, needs some options, goes out wide towards the right-hand side. Attempted cross there from Cher, just charged down. QPR just holding the ball up now on the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Support coming in down that right channel, but the ball is eventually cleared away, although they win it back here. QPR chance to get the ball across the 6-yard box, and it just eludes Lyndon Dykes. That was a great chance for Rangers to take the lead inside the first 5 minutes. The ball played up towards Yates now. That's cleared away from him by Dunn, and QPR straight away back into possession here with Roberts. It's a very energetic start here from Michael Beale's side, and Roberts again got 3 Blackpool players on him, and I think it was the touch from Charlie Patino there that the referee decided was enough to give the free kick. We'll just see from this replay here. In fact, we're getting a replay of that last chance for QPR where Thompson was robbed of the ball by Laird, and his ball across towards Dykes just a little bit too quick. But that's another warning for Blackpool. QPR are not afraid to send their fullbacks forward with every attack pretty much that they've had. They've got this free kick now Still a long way from the penalty area, and it's taken short in the end between Chair and Johansson. It's back with Dickey on the halfway line. And Johansson now back to Dickey. I mentioned that not too many goals scored so far. Bristol City have an early lead against Luton. Naki Wells with the goal for Bristol City. Norwich already 2 up against Huddersfield, with Sargent and Sinani getting the goals there. But here come QPR down the left-hand side as the run there from Dezelle is stopped in his tracks, and a chance here now for Blackpool to get forward. And Connolly switches play from right to left, and that's a good ball as well to pick out Lavery. He needs some support though, so he goes back towards Thompson. Patino now over towards the right-hand side, and plenty of space here for Callum Connolly. Just drops his shoulder, works towards the edge of the penalty area, needs an option now, and rolls that ball in towards Fiorini, who just wanted to do a little bit too much there with that pass. And it's cleared by Dunn towards the halfway line. Is it just about kept in play? No, it's not. It will be out for a QPR throw down the left-hand side, although Marvin Ekpiteta still trying to play it down like he didn't realise the ball had gone out of play, but I think he was out by a good couple of yards there. As we see the ball in, maybe I was being a bit unfair there towards Luis Fiorini. Seeing that replay, I think that the ball he was playing in wasn't actually a bad ball at all. It just wasn't particularly well controlled by Jerry Yates. And QPR now heading back towards their own penalty area here with Dieng. So as I mentioned, Norwich 2 up against Huddersfield. Swansea now 2 up against Millwall, with Manning and Obafemi getting the goals for Swansea City. And goalless everywhere else so far. Any other goals do go in, I will let you know. Another game available on our service this evening is the Champions League, a qualifier between Rangers and PSV. That was also an 8 o'clock kickoff, and it is still goalless in that game as well. But QPR here doing what they can to try and stop this game from being goalless as quickly as possible, as Roberts tries to play a ball in towards Laird on the run. Seemed like a fairly good ball there to Ethan Laird, just a little bit late arriving on it, and it's a throw on to Blackpool now. Thompson going back towards Reece Williams. And Williams sees too many QPR players in front of him, and he plays a good ball though over towards Connolly on the right hand side, but Chair is pressing straight away. QPR are not giving Blackpool any time on the ball. But Charlie Patino now with a ball over towards Thompson down the left hand side. Thompson into Lavery. That's good play from Shane Lavery as well. Plays the ball forward, but it's just a little bit under hit, and the ball won't quite get through towards Dougal. Out for a throw to the home side down the right hand side as Birmingham City take the lead against Watford. And it's Hall with the goal for Birmingham. Norwich desperately needing that to win. They're 2 up against Huddersfield. Just 1 point on the board for Norwich so far this season, as long ball played now, one for Laird to chase, but Thompson gets there first, plays it back to his goalkeeper Danny Grimshaw, who then rolls it out towards Ekpiteta. Straight away closed down though by Lyndon Dykes. I mean, this is possession for Blackpool just at the edge of their own box, and they're having passes and attempted clearances charged down. And QPR leaving plenty of players up here for the press from the throw as well. Dare I say it, perhaps taking the example of another West London team who did a bit of pressing early on in their home game at the weekend, and that certainly paid dividends for Brentford. But here come QPR now down the left-hand side. It shares ball across, just gets away from Tyler Roberts. Should still be kept alive down the right-hand side here by Dezelle, who actually got to the ball, but the pace of his run and the fact that he had Shane Lavery on his back meant that he couldn't quite keep the ball in play. And it is out for a throw to Blackpool down the left-hand side. As Dominic Thompson, the Brentford loanee, just waiting to restart play now. You can see some of the safe standing sections that they've built around Loftus Road now. Something that's happening across the divisions, and it's a good thing. Let's face it, we've been to games recently. Passionate home ends, and certainly almost all the away ends are pretty much usually stood up anyway, so it makes sense just to make that standing that much safer. Blackpool though, for the moment, although they're seeing a bit more of the ball in the last few minutes, it's still all inside their own half, and any chance QPR get to try and go forward, they are trying to be that bit more direct, whereas Blackpool just quite happy to keep possession here, as Patino really tussling there with Ilias Sher, and it goes out for a throw to Blackpool down the right-hand side. As Sam Field there applauding his teammates for the press. This is exactly the sort of start that Michael Beale wanted. And we can see Charlie Patino in at the deep end. It's his first league start of his career. And say he's seen plenty of action. Well, he would do, being a central midfielder away from home. He's going to be expected to try and help out that defence wherever he can, and turn this defensive possession into some sort of attacking possession wherever possible. Here is a header from Patino, looking for Yates. It's headed away from him, but then a ball played over the top, this time by Kenny Dougal. That was vaguely in the direction of where Jerry Yates was stood, but he never had a chance of getting on the end of that one. Easily claimed by Dieng. And then he rolls it to Stefan Johansson. Gazelle playing it back towards Jimmy Dunn. And then some space now down the left-hand side for Field. His pass, though, is straight into Josh Bowler. And now a chance here for Patino down the right-hand side. Just shows a little bit too much of it in the end to the backtracking Gazelle. And that's a good challenge. He puts it out for a throw to Blackpool. And they're getting closer and closer to the QPR penalty area here. Connolly with the throw is played across the 6-yard box, and nobody in a Blackpool shirt close enough to tap that in. That was such a good ball across. Thompson now with a second effort, which goes across the penalty area. Strike coming in from Fiorini is charged down, but then the ball played back over towards the right-hand side for Connolly, and he's got Bowler on the overlap. Bowler's ball into the box is cut out, and it's away for a throw-on. But goodness me, warning signs here for QPR after so much comfortable possession. Such a good turn here from Lewis Fiorini, and as that ball played across towards Yates, he's trying to turn it towards goal, and he gets a good connection on it, and it just swerves away and before it hits the post and deflects away. But it's such a good chance, best chance we've had in the game, as here comes the corner kick for the visitors now. Dieng gets one hand, punches it, and then it's headed up in the air by Ethan Laird. Still some work for QPR to do to clear their lines, as Roberts and Ekpiteta struggling for the ball there, and eventually the free kick is given Queen's Park Rangers way. Ekpiteta just a little bit too physical there on Tyler Roberts. Throw on to free kick I should say to Queen's Park Rangers. We can see Michael Appleton, the Blackpool manager, been the perfect response to those 10 minutes of real intense QPR pressure for his side to have taken the lead. Meanwhile, Bristol City have doubled their lead at home to Luton Town. There's 27 minutes gone in that game. It's now 2-0, just waiting for a confirmation of the goal scorer. Johansson now for QPR over towards Laird. He's been closed down by Lavery. And the ball played back towards Dieng. There's a real energy about Blackpool now. That shot that just grazed the post from Yates has just woken them up a little bit, as the ball is played all the way back towards the edge of the QPR penalty area, over towards the corner flag now. And Patino trying his best to win that ball back, but runs into Jimmy Dunn. And just hobbling a little bit there is Patino as he heads back to his spot in midfield. QPR take the goal kick short. Rob Dickie bringing it forward now, but he's under pressure from Yates, under a lot of pressure from Yates, and in the end had to play the ball back quickly towards Dieng. I think Yates with a little bit of a look of frustration towards his teammates. Maybe he felt as though somebody should have been following him there, but the ball played up towards the edge of the Blackpool penalty area, cleared away, and then there's a challenge in midfield. There's going to be a free kick to Blackpool there. That was quite a strong challenge as well on Patino. He's getting seeing a lot of the action. The debutant for Blackpool this evening. Just wait to see again as he was trying to turn. In fact, they're showing us a replay there of, oh goodness me, he sort of twisted his ankle just as he was trying to win that ball back off Jimmy Dunn, and now he's been clattered into as well, and he's down on the ground checking that right ankle. And as I say, that replay we just saw explains everything. He really did hit the ground very hard. And hopefully it's not going to be anything too serious for him. But we can see the physio into his little mic there, having a quick word with the bench, and this may well be a case that he's not going to be able to play on. Tino, loanee from Arsenal, have to be able to carry on here, but it's not looking good for the youngster. 18-year-old, back up on his feet now, and he's hobbling. Never want to say too soon that he's definitely going to be going off, but looking at this replay again, he essentially, Dunn just sort of runs his foot over Patino, And then he just twists his ankle, and that's what causes him all the pain that he's in now. And for the time being, it looks like he's going to be playing on, but it may just be a case that he's got to stay out on the field for a minute or two, just to allow a substitute to warm up. And in fact, we can see a couple of Blackpool substitutes warming up. The entire bench, by the way, is Lawrence Gabriel, Thornley, Conenboer, Carey, Husband, Hamilton, and goalkeeper Maxwell. As Blackpool take that free kick long, it's headed out quickly by Paul, but it's still Blackpool in possession down the right-hand side here. Bowler gets the ball back after a 1-2 from Patino, then puts a cross in towards the back post, an attempted overhead kick there from Shane Lavery. Goodness me, that would have been an absolute worldie if it had pulled it off from that sort of angle. But it was always working against him, really. The ball was getting away from him. He was at full stretch just to get anywhere near it. And cameraman there just off the pitch was having to take some evasive action, but certainly there was no problem there for Timothy Dieng, the QPR goalkeeper. Now it's the turn of a QPR player to have some problems here, and it looks like it's Sam Field who's just he's just sat down and he's holding his left ankle here. Didn't see exactly what's happened to Sam Field. We'll see maybe in a replay now. The QPR bench, by the way, is Masterson, Walsh, Adoma, Kai, Armstrong, Hammerleinen, and Shadipo. It's the bench for Michael Beale's side this evening. And we can see now that it's actually the same man as that Blackpool player again, Charlie Patino. Really has been in everything this evening. As he controls the ball, he plays it back towards that right-hand side, and he clatters into Sam Field. There's no intent from young Patino whatsoever, but Field certainly felt that, and it's taken a minute or two for that pain to register. He was okay to start with. He's just still getting some treatment now with Sam Field. And Michael Beale is using this chance just to get Ilias Chair over to him and have a quick word. Not seen too much of the Moroccan international so far. Slowly going off the field now is Sam Field. Clumsy one there, but he should be coming back onto the pitch fairly soon. Doesn't look like it's been an injury that is going to cause him too many problems. Hull City, by the way, have taken the lead away at Burnley. It's Tufan with the goal for Hull City. No other goals to speak of that I can see for the time being in the Championship. Preston, Rotherham, and this game, this 8 o'clock kickoff between QPR and Blackpool. They're the only two games in the Championship this evening that are still goalless. And just to confirm that Coventry City against Wigan was postponed. Still issues with the pitch there at the arena in Coventry. So QPR now just trying to get a bit more of a control of the game. They had a very good first 10 minutes, and then Blackpool responded with a decent bit of possession themselves, and they had that great chance with Yates striking the base of the post. That's certainly been the best chance of the game so far, as Connolly down the right-hand side here for Bowler. Pressing here from Chair, the ball going back towards the halfway line. Dougal over towards Ekpiteta. Any of passes exchanged here from Blackpool, not really able to make the distance. But now Ekpiteta, well, that's an ambitious ball to Thompson. Thompson was at full stretch just to keep it in play, but in keeping it in play, he couldn't actually go after the ball himself. But then as Blackpool lose the ball, Lavery does superbly well to win it back, and then he lunges in on Ethan Laird. That might be our first booking of the evening. Lavery straight away with a handout in apology towards Ethan Laird. I don't think there was any intent in terms of actually causing injury or any kind of serious foul. I think Lavery was just keen to win the ball back and probably just a little bit too aggressive in doing that. But initially, you've got to credit him because QPR won the ball back after that long ball was a bit too difficult for Thompson to control. And it looked as though QPR were going to have a very quick counter-attack, but Lavery stopped the initial run, and then he had to try and go after Laird a second time, and that second time he just clattered into him. A lunging tackle, but QPR have taken the free kick short, and they've been caught in possession in midfield, and here come Blackpool now, but that's not the right pass. Bit of miscommunication there. Lewis Fiorini played a very quick ball down the left-hand side to nobody. Yates was going through the middle, and Bowler was waiting down the right-hand side, but unfortunately, the pass from Fiorini was to no one in particular. And QPR now starting at the edge of their own penalty area here with Jimmy Dunn. It's been closed down there by Patino, who's moving around fine for the time being. Doesn't see anything wrong with him. And just looking across to the QPR midfield, doesn't seem to be any issues for Sam Field at the moment either. So everything seems to be okay with the two players that have had early injury scares, as Tyler Roberts is clattered into there by Lavery. That's a strong challenge. He's got to watch it here, Lavery. I think that's challenge I mentioned a moment ago on Ethan Laird, and now that's challenge on Tyler Roberts. I would imagine that's got to be his last warning. If he does any kind of challenge like that again here, Lavery, I think he's got to get a yellow card, because it's a couple of strong lunges there. Well, that said, I do more Premier League commentary than Championship commentary these days, so may well be that I've gone soft as well. It could potentially be seen as just a slightly late challenge rather than being as physical as that. But we can see Michael Beale trying to get some more instructions out to his players, because it has just got a little bit flat for QPR in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Haven't really been able to put as much pressure on the Blackpool defence. Just as I say that, though, Grimshaw is hurried into a clearance, and he does find a good ball towards Callum Connolly down the right-hand side. He's heading towards the edge of the area, being closed down here by Kenny Parle. Back towards Josh Bowler. Sher is back to help in defence, but Blackpool keep it alive. It's with Patino now. Back into midfield here for Kenny Dougal. Ekpiteta there under pressure from Tyler Roberts, playing it back to Grimshaw, who wandered out of his penalty area. QPR have got 5 players pressing inside the Blackpool half, but the visitors, to their credit, come out with it really well. That's a nice little turn there from Dougal as well. Fiorini now running straight into trouble, and gets the very least of a consolation prize of a throw on to Blackpool down the left-hand side. In fact, it might have come off Fiorini last. Just seeing this again. No, I think it is Dunn. No, it does. It's Dunn's clearance deflects off Fiorini, so doesn't even get a throw on for his side after all of that. But QPR, they wasted that possession really. A ball down the right is easily picked off here by Thompson. And back towards Grimshaw. To Thompson now, left-hand edge of the penalty area. And pressure here though, straight away on Kenny Dougal. Johansson was trying to push forward. As Thompson now tries to push forward, he finds Yates, who's dropped a bit deeper just to keep his side in possession. Then Yates volleys the ball over towards the right-hand side. Hand up straight away from the Blackpool number 9, because that was not a good pass to Callum Connolly, giving his right back absolutely no chance of keeping that in play. 22.5 minutes gone. We're halfway through this first half. Independent off-tube studio commentary, and it is goalless at Loftus Road between Queen's Park Rangers and Blackpool. And just looking across, we have an equaliser at Turf Moor. Jay Rodriguez with the goal for Burnley. So it's 1-1 now between Burnley and Hull City. Still Birmingham leading Watford by a goal to 0. I'll come back to the scores in a second, because a good long ball is played down the right-hand side. Ethan Laird gets to the edge of it, tees it up for Dykes, who gets it on target. But it's straight down the middle, really. And Lyndon Dykes will know that he could have done a lot better with that one. It was a quick break here from QPR. Good ball down the right-hand side from Roberts. That was flicked on by Dykes towards Ethan Laird. Laird cut it back for Dykes. I mean, if I was going to be ultra critical of Laird, maybe that pass could have been half a yard in front of Dykes, so he could have stepped up and really put his foot through it. But maybe I'm being a bit unfair there to Laird. I think Dykes, with his striking abilities, could have done a little bit more with that effort. And it's a strike on target, but it's pretty much to where Danny Grimshaw was already stood. And a comfortable save for the Blackpool keeper in the end. Now QPR just making a bit of a mess of it in their own half. Johansson and Sher losing it. Bowler now pushing forward, but credit to Elias Sher. He then wins the ball back for QPR. And then Kenny Parle hits the deck. I thought he might have been fouled there, but the referee says play on. Patino then loses that ball towards Elias Sher. Josh Bowler, meanwhile, was still down on the ground for Blackpool. He's only just picked himself up now. Dieng clears it long for QPR. And Dazelle slides in. That's a good challenge, as well as QPR. One of the QPR coaches there didn't want to give the ball back to Dominic Thompson. I think because it happened right in front of the benches. I think the QPR bench felt as though that could have been a throw on to them. But here come Blackpool now down the right-hand side. Callum Connolly's ball. Again, it's just a little bit over here. Blackpool don't want to be too wasteful. They've got to say they've got QPR on the ropes is probably a little bit too much. But I think they have got QPR on the defensive a little bit. They are just starting to ask a few more questions of the QPR midfield. And you don't want to waste the opportunity, because you just feel as though QPR have got a lot more to offer going forward. And they've just been a little bit restricted now as Field does well to win the ball back for QPR. Paul now playing the ball forward to Roberts, who runs straight into Fiorini. And the ball now, well, the ball almost reached Josh Bowler. He then tries to keep the ball alive for his side, but I think he's right to have a bit of a go at Kenny Dougal there. That ball was a little bit too easy for a QPR to win back. Here is Johansson, just exchanging a quick pass with Dazelle. And then Johansson back to the halfway line. Rob Dickey in towards Dykes. It's a very mobile formation here for QPR. You've got the strikers dropping in deeper, midfielders pushing further forward as the ball is out on the right-hand side now, edge of the area here for Dazelle. He sweeps across in, looking for the run of Kenny Powell. It's just a little bit too quick though for Powell, and it's away for a goal kick to Blackpool. To wait for a moment, but in the end was able to play out from the back. QPR did press initially, but Blackpool then went back towards goalkeeper Grimshaw, and now Patino on the halfway line playing it back towards Kenny Dougal. Switching play now over towards the left-hand side. A bit more space here for Thompson. Thompson into Lavery, who gets to the edge of the area, takes on his man and gets past his man. He can't quite get past Rob Dickey though, just stops him at the edge of the area. Then Dickey with a long clearance looking for Dykes. Dykes does really well to head that down, and then that's definitely a foul on Ilias Sher. He was brought down there just as it looked as though QPR might be starting a good move, a good counter-attack in fact, because it was a ball played up towards the halfway line, and it's Callum Connolly just clattering into Ilias Sher right in front of referee Andrew Davies as well, so there's no way he was going to let that one go. Seemed like a pretty obvious foul really from the referee's point of view, but QPR have taken the free kick quickly, and I think the ball had gone out of play for a throw. Blackpool had started to play on, and they were now starting a run down the left-hand side themselves, but we see from this replay, in fact no, it was a delayed flag from the linesman to confirm a handball from Dominic Thompson, and in fairness it was a handball from the Blackpool left-back. Had his arm outstretched to stop a ball going past him, so dictionary definition of a handball really, and as I say, almost like a VAR decision because it happened with a little bit of a delay, but it was just because the linesman just took a couple of seconds there to get his flag up to let the referee know. QPR have had 2 efforts and they've both been on target. Blackpool have had 3 efforts and they've all been off target, but in fairness one of those off target efforts did clip the base of the post, so in actual fact Blackpool have had the best chance to score in this game with that effort from Jerry Yates, as the ball now is played from right to left towards that left-hand edge of the penalty area. Not a good ball though from Rob Dickey. Didn't give any of his teammates a chance to get on the end of that one. And a goal kick now to Blackpool with 28 minutes gone here at Loftus Road. Just run you through the scores very quickly. Birmingham 1, Watford 0, Bristol City 2, Luton 0, Burnley 1, Hull City 1, Norwich City 2, Huddersfield Town 0, Preston 0, Rotherham 0, and Swansea still lead against Millwall by 2-0, still goalless here at Loftus Road. But here come Blackpool again. Just got a bit more of a spring in their step the longer this half goes on. Connolly and Bowler swapping passes. Connolly on the overlap, gets towards the edge of the 6-yard box, puts the ball in, and that one is cleared away by Sam Field. It's either going to be a throw or a corner to Blackpool down this right-hand side. But the pitch is opening up here for the visitors. You've got to say that QPR were very rigid in terms of closing down in the first quarter of an hour, but the longer this half has gone on, the more freedom that the Blackpool players seem to be finding just at the edge of the Rangers penalty area. And a set piece here for Timothy Dieng and his defenders to try and administer here, as the ball is well, it's headed away by Dazelle after a cross. Wasn't the best corner kick in fairness. It was heading towards the edge of the box, and then Tyler Roberts with a real hoof to put the ball out for a throw. Bit of a wry smile there on the Leeds United loanee's face, because he knows that's not what he was trying to do there. He effectively just sort of shanked it from right to left and didn't actually gain much territory at all. Blackpool have got a throw on, and it's still relatively close to the QPR penalty area. As Connolly waiting to restart play, sending this one back towards Ekpitet. I'm surprised he did that really, for Blackpool have now sort of voluntarily gone back in towards their own half when they had 5 or 6 players really trying to ask questions of QPR. They've switched play now over towards the left, and the ball from Thompson is headed away and back towards the halfway line, where Dykes couldn't quite get the header he wanted to Andre Dizelle, and it is out for a throw to Blackpool down the left-hand side. As the visitors just enjoying a little bit more possession in the last 10 minutes or so. The stats in general will say that QPR have still had 56% of the ball, but Blackpool just seem to have that little bit more energy as they go forward now. That's certainly something that Michael Appleton will be hoping his side can build on before the break, because you just feel as though QPR haven't quite hit the straps yet in this game. They've made a promising start, but since then just got into their shell a little bit, have the home side. And it is once again Blackpool trying to get something started. Here is Rhys Williams and Lewis Fiorini just swapping a couple of passes. Then Fiorini sends a long ball. It was the right idea, just a little bit too much pace on that one, but Josh Bowler applauds the effort from his teammate, because it was the right idea there from Fiorini. There's no doubt about that. Trying to get his teammates in on with that long ball as the half times now slowly coming in the Championship, League 1 and League 2 with a full programme already, and there's been a few red cards already in the old third and fourth divisions, Leagues 1 and 2, as Plymouth are down to 10 away to Charlton. They're 2 goals down as well. Sheffield Wednesday are down to 10 men away at Peterborough in League 1, and in League 2 Stockport are a goal down and a man down away at Doncaster, and indeed it's 2-2 now at half time between Mansfield and Wimbledon are down to 10 men as well. So exciting games up and down the football pyramid this evening, as QPR trying to excite their fans now with a run down the left-hand side from Dykes. Gets to the edge of the area, but that's well marshalled though by Marvin Ekpiteta. He nods it out for a throw-on, taken quickly here. Johansson in towards Roberts. Chair now finding an overlap here down the left-hand side from Kenny Parle. Parle's ball into the box, taken down by Dykes, and then it was set up for Roberts, but it never really sat up for him to actually put his foot through it. And now Blackpool on the counter-attack here with Josh Bowler having to take on 3 QPR players himself, and he gets away with it as well. Bowler, superb work, but then it's such a poor ball from Lewis Fiorini. It's such a shame. All Fiorini had to do was find a 15-yard pass to his teammate Lavery, waiting on the left-hand edge of the area, and he miscued it. Such a shame after that. It's a great bit of skill from Blackpool's number 11, Josh Bowler. Great work down the right-hand side. Lavery now trying to start a move for Blackpool down the left-hand side. Stopped there by Ethan Laird for a throw to the visitors. As I say, Michael Appleton will be pleased with the way his side have responded in this game. As I say, it's still difficult to say that they're controlling the game, but there's certainly, because statistically QPR have seen just that little bit more of the ball, but certainly seems to be a little bit more purpose with the Blackpool possession in these last 10 minutes or so. Ekpiteta to Connolly down the right-hand side, but straight away closed down by Sam Field. He's almost playing as an additional left-back now, Sam Field, sort of giving extra cover there to Kenny Parle. Ball now played back over towards the left-hand side for Thompson. Thompson inside towards Dougal. And Dougal's ball looking for Bowler, but that one ended up being catching practice for Timothy Dieng. Always heading straight into his hands. So I thought he might have headed it after what he did at the weekend, but I have to say it's always a favourite for football fans of any club to see a goalkeeper getting a last-minute goal like that from a set-piece. I was lucky enough to commentate on when Alisson did that away at West Brom a couple of seasons ago for Liverpool, and it always looks, because it looks so wrong, doesn't it, a goalkeeper up the other end actually scoring, but it's not like it never happens, and certainly we know from training that from what a lot of players say about training is that most goalkeepers are outfield players at heart anyway, so they always like to have the chance to show off their outfield skills. Dominic Thompson here is having a bit of a discussion with the referee, because a free kick's been given against Thompson here for treading on Ethan Laird and then holding him as well, and Laird, I think, just making the point that he couldn't get away from Thompson. I don't think Thompson really has a leg to stand on. He was clearly holding on to the QPR man. QPR lead the league with set-piece goals. They've already got 4 this season. with Millwall having 3 and Middlesbrough having 2. And now a great chance for QPR. We've struggled from open play in the last quarter of an hour to create much of an opening at all, so perhaps this set piece gives them a better chance. Left-footed Johansson and right-footed Shearer standing over this one. And the referee just asking for a bit of order at the edge of the area, but we're going to finally see this free kick now for QPR. And it is going to be Ilias Shearer lifting it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, I think it was Dykes who got closest to it. Just seemed to bounce over the QPR front man, and it's away for a throw to Blackpool down their right-hand side. But Dykes wasn't particularly well marked. Thompson trying to get near him, and in the end doesn't really get near him. And Dykes is frustrated there. You can see he's almost screaming in agony as he's before that ball's even reached him, because he knows he's going to be just that little bit too quick for him. But it was a decent attempt there from Shearer to pick out his teammate. QPR now pressing here, and they're going to get a goal here. QPR, what a great chance that is! And it's absolutely, well, that was a gift of a goal that QPR simply returned to sender there. I can't quite believe that. As I say, it was just great pressing from QPR. They had 3 players at the edge of the Blackpool box. They won the ball back. Dykes then got the ball with no Blackpool players around him, and he struck it straight at the goalkeeper. Here come Blackpool at the other end with Bowler. His strike from the edge of the area is charged down. Patino then switching play and finding Lavery on the left-hand edge of the box. Lavery cutting in on his right. His shot is charged down. But Blackpool still keep it alive. But Thompson giving it away there. And Thompson's going to get a booking here as well. He deliberately tripped Andre Zell as he was trying to get away down that right-hand side. And the referee, Andrew Davies, knows all about this. There's no way that Thompson can argue his way. He's not even trying to, in fairness, Thompson. He's just gone back to his spot. I think he knows that that was a nailed-on booking. But here, Blackpool living dangerously. Williams going back towards his keeper. And then the ball played to Dykes. Now, what's interesting is that the flag doesn't go up. But Lyndon Dykes actually was offside when that initial ball was played to him. So, it would have been quite controversial if that goal had been scored. But Dominic Thompson, confirmation that he has been booked. First booking of the season for him. And we have around 8 minutes to go, potentially a minute or two of injury time. We have had a couple of injury stoppages with Patino for Blackpool and Sam Field for QPR. The long ball now for a Bowler to chase, but Dieng gets to the edge of the area and comfortably makes a save before Bowler can get near the ball. Now it's with Sam Field. Over towards Dezelle. Field with a quick ball down the right-hand side. It's too quick, and that should be easy for Rhys Williams. He finds Thompson, who's just under a bit of pressure there. Overran the ball slightly, Thompson, and then runs straight into Laird. But he wins the throw, which is, I think he's quite lucky there. The QPR bench all had their hands up saying it should be our ball, and I actually think they might have been right on this occasion. But the way in which QPR wasted that chance, I mean, Johansson pressing on Duggan. I mean, as I say, at the risk of repeating myself from what I said earlier in the half, drawing a comparison between another team in West London that was pressing on Saturday. But that's almost a carbon copy of the second goal from the Brentford-Manchester United game, in terms of Johansson just pressing on a Blackpool player who had his back to the field and received a pass from his keeper that he didn't really want. And from then on, the ball found Dykes, but his effort was a tame one at the goalkeeper as Patino is brought down in midfield there. Ilias Shearer brings down young Charlie Patino, and it's going to be a free kick now to Blackpool. A little bit too far, I think, to be thinking about a shot. And it's quite central as well, so a particularly deceptive cross isn't going to be too easy from this sort of angle. Wait to see what the visitors want to do with this one. As Patino now at the edge of the area alongside Bowler. Lavery is there. Connolly's just over on the right-hand side. Yates being marked by the other number 9 on the field, but Lyndon Dykes. And Johansson just trying to marshal that QPR defence, but there's a couple of Blackpool players standing over it. It's actually Thompson who lifts this one towards the back post, headed across by Ekpiteta, taken down by Lavery, who does get a foot to it, but it's not a strong effort. Doesn't get enough power behind that Shane Lavery, and it's a ball that's bouncing into the hands of Dieng. An easy save for him in the end. And Field now, short to Johansson. Closed down here by Yates and Patino, so heading back now towards Jimmy Dunn. over towards the right-hand side, under pressure there, Ethan Laird. Looked very busy down that right-hand side for QPR this evening. But just like the rest of his teammates, hasn't had too much to shine in terms of an attacking threat in the last quarter of an hour, as he does try to get a move started with Tyler Roberts, but Thompson is there, and he stops the run. Going back towards Williams. And now Patino exchanging a pass with Fiorini, and Fiorini gets the ball back here for Blackpool. He's got options ahead of him. One of them is Jerry Yates, so it's quite wide for Yates now. Tries to pick out a cross, lifting it towards Connolly. Connolly collides with Kenny Powell, who stays on the deck. Referee says play on for the time being. A long ball is played up towards Dykes, but then Dykes wins the ball for QPR, and there's a blood injury here for Kenny Powell. He has got blood streaming down his nose, so this looks like quite a heavy collision here with Callum Connolly. And let's hope that everything is okay with Kenny Powell. He's from Amsterdam, but with roots in Suriname, plays his international football for Suriname, having previously been an under-19 international for Holland. But he's being checked over here, and just depending on how serious the blood flow is, hopefully they'll be able to patch him up on the pitch. And just getting checked over now. Just to remind you as well, there's championship games tomorrow. 7:45 kickoff Stoke against Middlesbrough, then 8 o'clock kickoffs Reading, Blackburn, Sheffield United against Sunderland, and West Bromwich Albion against Cardiff City. These are the games in the championship tomorrow. And a small matter of the Severn Derby on Sunday as well, as Cardiff take on Bristol City. In actual fact, Bristol City take on Cardiff is actually being played at Ashton Gate on Sunday. So that game, always a very, very passionate affair, to put it putting it lightly. As referee Andrew Davies just sending a message over to his fourth official, and the fourth official is now talking to Michael Beale. So this may well be. Is this going to be classed as a head injury that gives QPR an extra substitution? It may well be that's what the officials have just been discussing there with Michael Beale. But in any case, on our screens now, there's Ferdinand, Queen's Park Rangers Director of Football, who's been very much involved in the long-term planning here. QPR had been looking for a new stadium. Not entirely sure where that has stopped at the moment, but they have had approval for a new training facility heading out towards Heathrow Airport, heading out of London that way. And that has been approved as far as I understand. And work on that will be commencing if it hasn't already commenced. So QPR perhaps now trying to just build more of a foundation after years of real high spending in trying to get into the Premier League, getting into the Premier League, not quite able to stay there long term, and a series of managers and investment haven't quite worked out in getting Rangers back out of the Championship again. As Kenny Powell now with cotton bud up his nose just to try and stem that blood flow. Looks like he is going to be playing on for the time being. But you're always going to be a little bit dazed, a little bit groggy after a strong collision like that. I think that's bleed from his nose as well. So let's hope that he's going to be able to play on. We've got a couple of minutes to go before half-time. But in fairness, just to give you an idea as well, fewest touches in this game. Paul, Grimshaw, Lavery and Dykes have had 17 or 18 each. And then at the very top of that list, Jerry Yates, who's had 7 touches of the ball. But one of those touches was an effort which hit the base of the post. He's still been that's still the closest we've come to seeing goal. Although in fairness, Dykes should have done better with a couple of efforts that he had right in front of Blackpool's goal as well. We're back underway now, and Kenny Powell back on the pitch. We're about 45 seconds away from seeing the fourth official's board. I would guess we're going to get about 4 minutes, I think, injury time in this first half. Thompson going back towards Dougal. And then chasing that one down the left-hand side was Lavery, but that one was always a bit too quick for him. So a goal kick now to Queen's Park Rangers. Timothy Dieng looking to restart play. Michael Appleton, posing a figure on that Blackpool bench. And certainly he'll be pleased with the way his side have played. Perhaps just a little bit frustrated that they couldn't quite cap off that high press and possession they had with a goal. But we are going to see the fourth official's board now, just waiting for confirmation on how much time there is. The ball is played up to Ilias Scher, who couldn't control it. Confirmation that it is 4 minutes. As Blackpool now push forward with Fiorini, and then Yates leaves the ball here for Bowler. Bowler into the penalty area, gets it onto his left foot, strikes it. A wall of QPR's players stop it, but it comes back to Bowler, and Bowler hits it into the top corner with a left-footed strike. Just as we hit injury time at Loftus Road, it is the visitors Blackpool that take the lead, and they've been threatening to do this for a while now in the first half. QPR have just been allowing Blackpool a little bit too much time inside their own half, and their Bowler seemed to have his initial effort charged down by 3 QPR players that charged to try and stop him from getting his shot away. But after the initial effort was charged down, Bowler was able to get the ball back, and well, we'll see here. Yates is definitely offside when the ball is played, but it isn't played to Yates, and when he lets the ball go through his legs, he's trying to show that he's not interfering with play. That was enough for the linesman. When the initial effort from Bowler is stopped, the ball then just rolls straight back to him. And he's got such a good left foot, Josh Bowler. Doesn't need to be asked twice to try and hit an effort from inside the penalty area. Lovely curling effort, gets a lot of pace on it as well. And there's absolutely no chance for Timothy Dieng to get a hand on that one. He was a long way away from it. As I say, after 15 minutes of this game, you would have said that Blackpool scoring seems very unlikely. After half an hour, it seemed more likely, and now as we're in injury time, this doesn't really surprise me at all, because Blackpool have been knocking on the door, have been showing signs of being threatening, and that was a really good goal from Josh Bowler. Scored in the corresponding fixture last season as well. So he enjoys playing against Queen's Park Rangers. And now here is Patino. QPR quickly losing possession from the kick-off, and we've still got about a minute and a half of injury time to play in this first half. First goal of the season for Josh Bowler. He's never going to get 20 goals in a season, but he'll always chip in. Somebody who is very much a forward-thinking midfielder. Somebody who certainly one of the danger players for Blackpool. Scored 7 goals last season. So certainly be looking to try and improve on that. There's a bit of a pushing match there just by the QPR corner flag on the left-hand side. Has in the end been given as a throw on to Rangers. I mean, there will be a question mark, because although the ball wasn't played to Yates, he had to allow the ball to nutmeg him to find the Blackpool man. So I'm not saying that Yates was in any way interfering with play, but at the same time, I'll just come back. I'll come back to that in a second, because I mentioned there was a bit of a pushing match by the QPR corner flag. It's actually been given as a free kick to Blackpool after all of that. We were being shown replays of the goal from Bowler, and suddenly we come back to a free kick to Blackpool in actually a very decent position here, and it's Luis Fiorini standing over it, plays it along the ground towards the edge of the area. Strike comes in, and it's just wide. It's Callum Connolly with the effort. Training ground move, no doubt. The idea was to play the ball along the ground for Connolly to hit it first time, and it was a very measured effort from Callum Connolly as well. Not too far away from goal, as you can see. Michael Appleton would have loved his side to have scored again in injury time. 2 goals in injury time really would be the icing on the cake, but that last effort wasn't to be. And QPR with seconds here to try and respond in this first half. Kenny Powell playing it back towards Ilias Scher, heading towards the edge of the penalty area. Now Scher does really well to get away from Patino, playing a 1-2 with Field, and he strikes towards goal. But that one is a long way over the bar in the end. Good response from QPR to try and do something in front of goal, because they really have struggled for any kind of meaningful possession in the last 20 minutes. Michael Beale now in discussion with his assistants as well, because this won't be good news for them. Just to let you know as well that it is half-time in the game at Ibrox. Rangers 1-1 with PSV, and just as I say that, it's half-time here at Loftus Road, where Blackpool lead against Queen's Park Rangers after a goal from Josh Bowler in the first minutes of injury time. And I'm back in 15 minutes for second half of Tube Studio Commentary.